All right. So welcome, welcome. This is first day of Virgo season. So we'll be following up tonight's witness meditation with Astro Reiki. We normally do the Astro Reiki during the day. But I figured it would be kind of nice, if you are part of that tier, you've done the meditation, then you can get some Reiki. And they say a lot of times the last few moments before you go to sleep, at least the last 5 minutes, whatever it is that you are thinking about, is something that can help to transcend your subconscious mind. And we know that when we are sleeping in that dream world, we're traveling with our astral body, our emotional body. And so we do have access to other things. So just, as a little FYI, whatever you're thinking about 5 minutes before you go to sleep, make sure it's good, positive thoughts, okay? And so with that being said, if you're part of our Astro Reiki tier, that will be tonight, a little later after meditation, just kind of lull off to a nice peaceful sleep. But we will celebrate this wonderful season with, let's see, blossoming. All right. We have the Goddess Aeracura today. She says, you are just getting started. So have patience with yourself in the process and do not give up. That's awesome. And I really enjoyed that this message came up today because with Virgo season, Virgo is known as the high priestess archetype. In tarot, it's the hermit. But when it comes down to the divine feminine aspect, it is a high priestess. So a lot of times you will see in the tarot deck, the high priestess is shown with crops around her that she is yield. A lot of times it'll be golden weed, there'll be like a river and so forth running. It just shows her abundance, her prosperity, her connection to materializing her spiritual self. So, and I like to look at it as materializing your spiritual wealth and abundance, So that's how I see this blossoming card that we have this evening. So Miss Aeracura is a Celtic and Germanic goddess. I think that's how you would say German lineage, Germanic goddess who multitasks as an Earth mother. Virgo season, Earth energy. She's also a fairy queen and also a bridge between earthly life and the hereafter. Just talked about that. As above, so below. So this is perfect. She helps us put our goals and challenges into perspective so we don't needlessly stress ourselves. Call upon her for emergency money or help in manifesting supplies. She's especially fond of assisting artists and inventors. So tapping in once again to the first day of Virgo season. I think that is pretty cool with the her being an Earth Mother deity and then a fairy queen, because that's kind of that mystical, magical, but earthbound spirit. I know that Sydney, who is will be on later with the Astro Reiki, she loves fairies too, so that's kind of cute. And then when it talks about putting our goals and challenges into perspective, we know that Virgo is a mental sign, but because it's earthy, it's about bringing those thoughts, those ideas into reality. So this is a perfect message if you've been, and we've got Mercury going retrograde, too. So, if you've got some ideas that you've been thinking about or some creative expressions that are coming up, right, to move through you and be shown through you, then have patience with yourself. Okay? You are just getting started. And also have patience with yourself because Mercury retrograde is going to push back. There's going to a little, you have some time to kind of slow down and revisit those seeds that you planted and see if that's what you want to bring in the harvest now at this time. So with that being said, go ahead and just take a nice deep breath with me and a nice deep breath all together. Allowing ourselves to just arrive in this space, beginning to gently close your eyes. Feeling yourself, allowing yourself to take up space within your physical location. knowing that all of you is welcome here and invited. All of you, meaning your physical body, your emotions, your thoughts, spirit, your dreams, your ideas, your pains, your sorrows, your struggles, your triumphs, past and your future. All of that, all of you is welcome here now in this space. As you allow all of those aspects of your being to arrive in this moment, greet them with love and kindness. Welcome them in and all the gifts they bear, the wisdom that they bring, knowing that they are here to support you in your blossoming, in your growth, in your self-exploration. And feeling that divine nature within you, gradually awakening and showing herself through you in this moment. That original essence, purest form of who you are, without all the humanness, judgments, expectations, ideas or concepts of who or how you should be right now. Just this moment, let all of that go. As you move through those deeper layers, tap into that original essence, divine creative essence that is allowing her to move through your entire physical body, allowing her to fill your womb space and moving up into the heart and the throat, illuminating your crown. Remembering that regardless of whatever is happening in your life right now, you are still a queen, a goddess, sacred mother, divine feminine, sovereign being, however you choose to feel or be this evening. Allow yourself to just adorn your being in that essence. That space where all multifacets of who you are show up. Safety and sacredness, and love and power. And just breathe. Eventually, you'll begin to imagine, sense, feel gold ring of light surround you, knowing that this is your personal sacred space. untouched by the external world. Expand it to give yourself some more room to grow, space. Also bring in this gold ring of light closer to you. You need to feel more safe, more loved and coddled, more held, comforted. Take a moment and a breath or two. Feel yourself centered within this gold ring of light. The crown on, golden, bright. The alignment of your crown, throat, heart, the womb space. All held within your body, held within this gold ring of light. Also held within this iridescent bubble that also surrounds you. Creating that space where you know and trust that you have full permission to be here just as you are and love all aspects of who you are, how you showed up this evening. Taking a moment to just settle in. Noticing how you're feeling. Just breathe. Chose to show up. Committed this time to yourself. So truly allow yourself to be here now. You have more than enough time later this evening, rest of this week. Focus on the external world, needs of maybe others in your life, roles that need to be fulfilled by you, responsibilities and duties, but just for this moment. Give yourself permission to just be within. Tend to your own needs, your own inner garden, seeing what is ready to grow, what weeds need to be plucked, what needs to be unearthed, excavated. Doing so with kindness, gentleness, passion. Offering yourself that sweet, sweet love that you offer others. Give that to yourself. Love on yourself just this moment. Celebrate yourself right now. Notice how you feel that you give to yourself and allow yourself to receive. You can soften any resistance that feels right for you. You're more than welcome. Go deeper, breathe deeper, surrender deeper, love yourself deeper. To yourself the gift of grace. With your healing, with your journey, life, yourself grace, patience, tender loving care. And regardless of how far you've come, you should most certainly celebrate that. But also know that when it comes to our goals and desires, our wants, our needs, creations, in the beginning we may sometimes feel anxious, pressure, might feel triggered, unworthy, uncertain, fear. New beginnings come with a mixed bag of emotions, thoughts. Sure to have patience with yourself. You are just getting started this new season, maybe a new chapter in your life. Trust your process. Don't give up. In many ways, you are just like a flower. This flower bud with so much potential. And if you could, see yourself as a flower right now in your mind's eye. What flower would you be? Notice it's still fresh young bud. Notice if it's in full bloom. Notice its orientation. Meaning if it is straight up and down, is it leaning a little bit to the left, a little to the right, a little forward, a little back? Notice if this flower has hips, those small, tiny leaves just up underneath the bud or the bloom. Notice the stem. If it's short, medium, long. Does it still have its roots? Or is it freshly cut? Does it have leaves? Yes, no. If so, how many? And then are they on the left side, the right side? Spaced out or right beside each other? As you just simply notice this imagery that reflects you in the form, the shape of a flower. Know that each part of this flower is symbolic of something. Everything has a deeper meaning. And just like this flower, you are ripe and ready to open and grow, and there is no need to rush this process. It's part of your beauty. See, even if you plant several seeds at one time, each flower, each seed grows and blooms in its own time. No competition with the next. That's what makes you so special, so beautiful. You are unique. Enjoy learning about yourself in this way. Whether it's new knowledge or skills acquired, new levels and depths of self-awareness. Enjoy the journey. Take your time as you gather whatever it is that you need to harvest for your next phase, next chapter. And because we are so much like plants, be sure to nurture yourself just as you would your favorite flower. Kind words, light, nourishment, fresh air, sunshine. And soon enough, you will know that it's time to put yourself into action. But in the meantime, when you are outside in nature, you see these beautiful flowers. Know that what you appreciate in that moment about that flower is a reflection of you. Beauty truly lies in the eyes of the beholder. You can only see or comprehend something a level of awareness that resonates with that. So when you see beauty in the outer world, it's because you hold this within. And in order to support your continued growth, spend more time amongst the flowers, fairies, become friends with the fae, earth, feeling her support underneath you. How she literally supports your physical being. Not just by having your feet on the ground, but also in the food she provides, the water she provides, the shelter she provides. Connect to this divine support system. Notice how she moves through her own cycles and rhythms. And although at times under pressure she may cave in, an avalanche of emotions may move through you, overwhelm you like tides of a tsunami or hurricane, but this is also the same entity that produces diamonds, lush jungles, wild tropical flowers, expansive terrains, mountains that cannot be moved. And you too, as an extension of this divine original essence, are the beholder of this beauty, this power, these gifts. Take this moment or two, just breathe. Relax. Slow down. Allow the breath to become more fluid. Notice its ebb and flow. The Breath is something that you can always come back to. Emotions overwhelm you, thoughts are racing. Notice your breath. It gives you something else to focus on. It shifts your focus back within. As you ride the waves of breath in and out, learning to slow the breath down, to control your breathing, you eventually also learn to control your emotions and your feelings. And control in this case is not about stopping them. It's about ushering them in a different way, acknowledging them, allowing them to flow in a more structured way. The breath also allows you to get out of your head and into your body. This divine instrument of wisdom and knowledge, source, creation, inspiration. Coming within allows you to escape all that's happening outside of you. And even if you come back here for just a moment or two, a breath or two, it is always well worth it. Because you are worth it. You are deserving of peace. You are deserving of love, beauty, tenderness, softness. You are deserving expansion, evolution, growth. Whatever it is that you desire in this moment, know that part of that may come from the depths of your soul, your original essence, purest form of who you are. As you honor that as such, you begin to deepen a relationship with yourself, intimacy within yourself, sovereignty within yourself. In this way, truly bloom. And you radiate that light, that beauty, for all others to admire, to appreciate, to love, to hold, to cherish. You are worthy of all of that. Slow down. patience with yourself and your process, kind to who you are, where you are in this moment. Just breathe. So you come back to that imagery of yourself as flower, your favorite flower, as an embodiment practice. Visualize this flower within your being, imagining from the base of your spine the roots that grow down your legs into the earth, receiving the nourishment and the soil, the earth beneath you. And from the base of your spine, moving through pelvis, your womb space, you begin to see that little seedling sprouting. Allow it to come up. Allow it to gain some momentum as those tender leaves and buds held within the sacral area, your womb space, begin to rise up, moving through the solar plexus. The stem of this flower becomes thicker, hardier as it moves into the heart space. From here, maybe you notice some leaves begin to grow. It's as if they are your arms, and it continues to express itself as it moves up through the throat and the neck. You feel yourself sitting up taller, allowing this vision, this magnificent, beautiful flower, to come up into the mind, seeing it in all its wholeness, and into the light of your crown as it comes through, breaks through, fully opening, blooming, basking in this wondrous light. 3, just be. And while you're in this embodied state of this image, Maybe there's a little messenger, maybe a little fairy comes to visit you, a little bumblebee, a little ladybug, a little caterpillar. What message do you hear, sense, know, feel? Is when we slow down and take time to reconnect with nature. We hear, take time to listen to her. We can understand the subtle whispers, wisdom, guidance, support. Take a moment and a few breaths to just be. And knowing that there is no rush, feel full and complete. Kindness to yourself, gentleness to yourself. Take some more deep breaths and give yourself a hug. Maybe bring some movement as if you're that flower, just swaying the breeze, the body, and eventually opening your eyes and out of meditation. All right. Felt lovely. um, didn't really read the various meanings of the card, so I will go through those now. I read the first one and then drifted off. So the first one is to slow down. That's very important as a female because a lot of times we are like doing, and quote unquote, it's a man's world. Well, masculine energy is about producing, providing, action. And guess what? As women, when we try to keep up with that, we get burned out. Okay, because that fiery action energy can only go so much, before it eventually burns itself out. It kind of like it's self-extinguished almost, So, um, as women, it is imperative that we take time to ourselves. That could be sitting in the car for a minute or two before you go in the house, okay? um, and or going into work, whatever it is, taking a moment. I do that a lot. I have a lot of 1 minute car meditations, okay, before I transition. It's what do you call it? Or after I just faint and hit my face on the ground, when I get in the car, it's like, whoa, let me just take a minute to breathe. Let me process. And then yeah, so it doesn't have to be, like something stressful that has to influence you to take a moment to just breathe. But car meditations are awesome because you're already there, before you get out the car to go into work, go into this play, or, go into the house, whatever it is, just woosah. And it's also good when you take a moment to just kind of breathe, and take like just a second or two to do that when you get in the car, because in that way you can recalibrate your energy, be focused, present, um, and kind of leave whatever it is energetically that you just came from, leave that outside, So the second message is to have patience. Okay, you can't like rush Mother Nature or rush anything, and you are also a part of Mother Nature, so be patient with your process. It also says to get involved with gardening. Okay, I will admit my flowers are doing pretty good. So just check on yours, maybe buy yourself some fresh flowers for the week and just put your hands on the base there, send it some love, positive energy. If you can imagine how um, flowers thrive when we talk to them and so forth. Well, guess what? You're also 70% water. Plants need water. That is how the energy is transmitted. And so talk to yourself kindly. Get some sunshine. Drink plenty of water. And then also it says to use aromatherapy and or flower essences. Flower essences can be Bach flower remedies is a very popular one, BACH. And that's cool. Thank you for sharing, Yami. I like rose essential oil. That's one of my favorites. But lavender is definitely a close second. And jasmine is a good essential oil. Ylang ylang is wonderful. Blue tansy is um, very soothing and calming as well. And then also when it comes down to flower essences, if you're interested, there's another brand, I guess you could say, because Bach Flower Essences is its own brand. And some of them you can like put in the water or, use as like tinctures and tonics and stuff. But there's another one called Perelandra, Perelandra. And that one it works exclusively with a healing modality, the powerful one that I've been using recently called MAP, which is stands for Medical Assistance Program. So it is spirit guides, 4 specific ones that work with you for healing anything that is like more medical based, So it can also be not just physical, but it can be emotional, because your emotional health, mental health, spiritual health is very important as well. It's in treating the whole body. But if you are interested in learning a healing modality that you don't need any kind of certification in, but something that's definitely transformative, and something that's very powerful and transformational, then you can look into MAP, Medical Assistance Program. Just buy the book on Amazon, or you can go to PerelandraEssences.com, I think it is. Buy their flower essences and use that in conjunction with the MAP program, as they call it. It's pretty cool. It's a little different, but it is pretty cool. And then it says, keep the faith. It's the last one there. So this is kind of interesting. I will finish out with the collective message. which is kind of cool because you don't realize what you were probably doing in meditation while I was having you do it. But I'll finish that out and then we'll stop the recording and go into readings. But while we're doing this, and I'm talking about the collective message, I think we'll switch it up a little bit. So, while I'm talking about the collective message, if you want to, in the chat, describe your flower that you saw. Describe your flower, and I'll tell you why that's significant. And it's significant because the flower, in this particular case, I normally use a rose. And if you know me for a while, roses is my thing. I use roses for protection, energetic protection. You can use that imagery and just visualize a rose out in front of you, behind you, to the left, right, above, and below to protect your space, right? You have that gold ball of light around you, and now you have protection roses. So when I say bubbles and roses, that is what I'm talking about. So that's an energetic tool that you can use to protect yourself. You can use that to protect your car, your home, food in the refrigerator. You don't want someone else to eat. I've done that plenty of times at work and when I had roommates. And so, anyways, but also the rose. The reason why we use that is because it is a rose is kind of like non-threatening, right? Most people when they see it, it's like, oh, it's pretty, you know. So it's a form of protection that doesn't have a fear-based type of energy attached to it, doesn't have that charge. But a rose has a certain respect to it, right? So when you're protecting yourself with roses around you, your protection roses, it gives a sense of like, okay, I'm safe and protected. But at the same time, in a space of beauty, of grace, and I'm protected in this space of, that's not fear-based. So it's a good way to utilize that tool. I can go on and on about how many different ways I've used that, but also what is pretty cool is if you're watching this replay or want to revisit it, the flower, which I'll do individual readings for you in the chat when you describe your flower. It is, I used to do something called a rose reading. And in a rose reading, the client would say their name, and I would visualize a rose as a psychic. This is one of my psychic readings I used to offer. The rose would come up, and every part of the rose has a distinctive, it's got significant information that it provides, right? So the reason why I'm asking you this is because it'd be interesting. A lot of times, first of all, let's talk about the flower. So if it's a bud, that means it's just new beginnings, okay? So you might need to feel a little safe right now. You might feel a little more closed off, okay? When the flower is like in full bloom, right, then as it's in full bloom, that means you're very open to receiving, you're receptive, you're taking in information. So there's times where, we might want to be a little more closed off, but we might also be somewhere in between, right? As we are discerning our being discerning with what we give our attention to, but also the information that we're taking in. When I was talking about the orientation of your flower, if it's straight up, that means, you are in alignment. But if it's to the left a little bit or to the right, you might just kind of be leaning into maybe just kind of trying to listen in or tap into another energy source, something like that. If it's moving, kind of leaning towards you, it could be the flower is like wanting to feel something, wanting to gain something, wanting to connect. The hips, which are typically, I don't know flowers around here. But the hips, which are those little leaves that are just under the bud. Not all flowers have them. I don't think. I'm not a botanist, but might be a botanist in some other way sometimes. But anyways, so it's a different kind of plant. But anyways, with the flower, there's those little leaves that are right underneath the actual bloom or the bud, right? And those represent your communication. So in the rose reading, if someone had like long rose hips or something, that means they were very effective at communicating or they were very communicative. Okay. If they're short, maybe you are very concise with your words, very direct with your words. And if you don't have any, maybe right now you're just like, you know what? I'm just in a place where I'd rather just listen and I don't have a whole lot to say. Now, what's also cool about this is that the rose stem, if it's short, medium, long, it shows you your past lives. So when some people are like, "Oh, I'm an old soul," I'm like looking at them, I'm like, "Actually, you're not. You're kind of a medium soul, but whatever." I'm just gonna let you think that, because maybe you're an old soul compared to a young soul. Right? That's kind of like how human nature also works. But the length of your stem, whether it's short, medium, or long, has to deal with if you're a young, middle aged, or old soul. And if you have a very long stem that has the roots, then you are probably you've probably been on Earth for several lifetimes, like from the very beginning. So that's pretty cool if you know that. And if you have a shorter stem, it could just mean that you're a young soul. So you might be very young spirited. People might see you as very playful, something like that. So, if you're a middle-ish kind of stem, you might be like a middle-aged soul, meaning, there's some wisdom that you gain, but there's still other areas to grow and to evolve into. And so, what else? Yes, and then also like if the rose stem feels kind of like strong and sturdy, or if it feels kind of like a little, if it doesn't feel like that, then like I don't want to say fragile, but just kind of like softer. Because some, roses because they have a real strong, sturdy stem, and there's other flowers like maybe I don't know, a daffodil or something. I don't know, like sunflowers have a real strong stalk, But anyways, the the attributes of that can represent how maybe grounded you feel in your body. And then the leaves, this is the part that freaks some people out. The leaves represent contracts for children this lifetime. And so if you see leaves on the left side, that's typically feminine. If you see leaves on the right side, that's typically masculine. And if you see multiple leaves, that might mean multiple children, but it doesn't have to be children that you physically bear. It can be children that you are close to in your life. So nieces, nephews, things like that. Because who knows, in past lives, you might have been sisters or siblings or mother, daughter, mother, son, or something like that in a past life, which is why y'all are connected and have that what I call energetic rapport or resonance. And then if you have thorns, right, on your like as a rose, if you saw yourself as that, I don't know if there's any other flowers that have thorns on them, but if you see thorns, that's a form of protection. And so if you have thorns, that just means you're very protective of yourself, your space right now. If you don't have thorns, it doesn't mean you're just out there, but it does mean that you might just feel like you don't need that kind of level of protection. Maybe you feel safe, enough already. So that's kind of a fun little exercise. And so the collective message is to check in with yourself, and if you visualize yourself as a particular flower, knowing that all those bits and pieces have a certain character trait to them on a psychic level, it's kind of cool because you can kind of see how you are and get some feedback. The color also of the flower does make a difference. Um, so if the color is very well, most flowers I think are bright, vibrant, but the colors can also correlate to maybe an emotion like white, yellow, like a daisy might be joy and optimism. Red, like a deep rose red, might be something kind of more sensual, more sultry, more intimate type of thing. So all those mean something, and so with that being said, happy blossoming, and we'll go into the readings and see how you are blooming.